Hey guys, this is HES. To be another raid Shadow Legends video. So we're going to do a champion guide on one of the epics that was improved in the last patch 1.14. So this is going to be a guide on Oathbound. I was using Oathbound before the patch in my Faction Wars team. He was pretty terrible, I've got to say. So a couple of things about him. He's a defensive based champion, which is cool, which means he can do damage and stay alive. But he was just hitting like a wet noodle, wasn't doing any damage at all. So I've changed his kit a bit. I'm going to show you what he does first, and then I'll show you how I built mine. So we've got an A1, which is actually pretty cool when booked up. So attacks one enemy, got a chance to freeze. That chance to freeze is 50% when you book him. So 1 in 2 times you're going to freeze someone with an A1. That's actually pretty good for arena, especially for mid-game. It's very good in places like Faction Wars, some of the dungeons where you're just trying to pick off one person that is going to annihilate your team. So not bad there on the A1. A2 now is awesome. So attacks all enemies. If you book him, 100% chance to land decrease attack across the board. Really solid ability. On a 3-turn cooldown, I like this now. Also has 55% chance when booked up, 75% chance to decrease each target's turn meter by 20%. All of a sudden, that's an arena move, it's a dungeon move, it's a faction war move. Really like this change. It's made him totally viable in lots of areas of the game. He's force as well, so kind of at least you've got something a bit different to play with. And then we've got an A3 here. Attacks 4 times at random. Don't like the at random bit. If you book him up, it's going to be a 50% chance to place block cooldowns across the board. Yeah, or what, on each hit, sorry. If he goes after people that have already got the decrease attack, so A2 first into the A3, then it will be a 100% chance to place block cooldown skills. So let's think about where that's useful. The arena, blocking someone's cooldown skills is insane. 2 turns with them not being able to use anything but A1s pretty much wins you the game. Faction Wars, it's insane, and some of the dungeon stuff as well, really, really strong. So really like this now. His kit is decent. I've gone for like a dungeon build here and Faction War build, so into War Master. Pretty much as soon as you pass level 16 content, War Master will do a lot of damage for you if you're building someone for utility. So we've gone down here, War Master for some damage. We have gone accuracy, accuracy, accuracy. Chance to boost turn meter when some of those debuffs drop off. Evil Eye is good for any kind of dungeon raiding content or Faction War content or arena. And then I've got the Master Hexer here to try and extend that block cooldown skill. The way I've built mine is in stun set. So you don't have to do this, but mine is really built for Faction Wars. That's where I think he's going to have the most use for me as a team. But if you're like a mid-game champ, a mid-game player, and you've got perhaps a handful of epics, maybe 1 legendary, and Oathbound is one of your guys, then he can do some work for you generally. But for me, he won't be going into any of my dungeon teams as like a high-end team. So why did I go stun set then? He's got AoE on his A2 on a 3-turn cooldown, AoE on his A3. I booked it to a 4-turn cooldown. So, not AoE, sorry, 4-hitter, but 4 hits is a lot of hits. So AoE, 4 hits, which means that pretty much 75% of the time that he's attacking is going to be multi-hit, which for my Faction War team, that becomes a really useful set. Stun set in Faction Wars is insanely good. How have I built him then? We have gone for decent level of defense, 3.7k, decent speed, good accuracy to land those debuffs, good HP, and then I've not really built him for damage at all. He probably can do damage. That's not the way I built him here, but I've built him for crowd control. So this is going to be a dungeon build. Let's show him. I guess let's do a rating. I've been playing around with him. He's definitely decent now. He's gone from being basically rubbish to decent. So arena, I think he's probably going to be a 4. His abilities are really, really relevant. So he's going to be the one who locks down the opponents, and then somebody else is going to come in for the damage. Clan Boss, I don't see him. I don't know where these ratings are coming from, actually. This Clan Boss, he's got nothing in his kit for Clan Boss. I suppose he's got decreased attack now. But still, decreased attack on a 3-turn cooldown. I guess it's usable for Clan Boss for a decreased attack champ if you don't have one. I'd say he's at best a 3. I think Dragon's awesome. Going to get you through those waves really well. It's not going to do that much to the actual boss. Decrease attack is useful on the boss, I guess. So 4 or 5, maybe a 4. Spiders, again, decrease attack across the board is good. Block steals will do nothing to the spiderlings. Random hits is not useful for you either. And the freeze will not work on the boss. So probably a 3. Fire Knights, fantastic. I think 2. He's got a multi-hit, A3. He's got a single hit, A1. Good for the waves. Probably a 4 again. Campaign is not going to be his place. Minnows, he'll do fine getting you through the waves and stuff. Force Keep, he doesn't bring any sort of decreased defense. So probably a 3, I'd say. Magic Keep, blocking the abilities is probably quite nice. Ice Golems, again, just it feels like he's a kind of a 4 across the board sort of guy now. 3s and 4s, which is not a bad place to be for an epic. But where we get to here is absolute top tier now, Faction Wars. Absolute top tier. 5 there. So that's what I'd rate him. Let's show him off in some dungeons then. Actually, I'll show you in campaign just so you can see that I'm not lying. I guess you could build him much faster with much more damage. Yes. But do I think he's going to be able to deal with this sort of stuff? He's red affinity firstly. So for the main farming area, 12-3, he'd be awful. 12-6 is where you'd have to go with him. And even then, it's going to be a struggle. So he's got no aura, none of that sort of stuff. But we don't really care about that for campaign anyway. But you see here is AoE. Not going to do a ton of damage. He's just not right for it. He'll clear the waves and stuff. He'll get the job done. Everyone else has got no deer on at all here. And you see, load of weak hits. So it's just not going to be his spot. But that's fine. You don't need him for that at all. See the stun set coming in there, though. That's what his use is in waves for me. And then again, another AoE. So he's doing pretty chunky damage, considering I've not built him for damage at all. At all. So yeah, can he do it? Yes. It's going to be another kind of 50-odd second farmer, I guess. Maybe a bit quicker. 45-second farmer. There's millions of better champions out there than this. But can he get through it? Yes, he can. So there you go. Let's get into some dungeons then. This is where I think most people are going to use him. Let's start with Dragon. Dragon 20. He's the strong affinity for Dragon 20, which is always going to be helpful. Let's build a team up here. So we're going to need somebody to lay the poisons. Usual sort of stuff, guys. Someone to lay the poisons. Someone to speed us up. Somebody to decrease defense. Oathbound then comes in to decrease attack and block skills of some of the guys. That's quite nice there. And then we want someone to just come over the top of that with some damage. Maybe I'll go with Sandlashed. It's not mirroring any abilities there. It's bad affinity though, actually. It's not the best idea. Who should I go for? I guess I could go Banshee and just give us some more damage on the boss. Yeah, I'll do that. So what we should see here is we've got stun set on War Maiden, stun set on the Oathbound. So let's just slow it down. There goes the first hit. Decrease attack across the board. 1, 2 stuns off. Slow it down a sec. And you'll see we've just... Basically, we've locked their defense down with War Maiden. We've locked their attack down with Oathbound. And then we've got 1, 2... Two of these champions now that have got blocked skill. No, 3 champions, sorry. 3 champions can only do their A1s. So whereas we'd have a Tyrell there coming at us, decreasing everybody's defense normally, what Oathbound's made him do is just hit us with an A1 so we get through that wave much easier. Really, really important. Crowd control. If you can't nuke an enemy, crowd control it. We just had the freeze there from the Oathbound on the Tyrell again. Freeze there on the Apothecary. So you see how much control he is bringing to the Dragon Wave. Block cooldown skills again on the Tyrell. Tyrell's been locked out of that fight for the whole fight. It's just used as a Wii on a single person, which is not ideal because then we've got 2 more turns to get it back. But you can just kind of see stun there again. Stun from a War Maiden, so double stun sets, really helpful. Freeze off on the Apothecary. Are you going to heal anyone? No, you're not because you're frozen. and it just gives us a much easier chance to get through to the dragon. Another stun off, decrease attack across the board. Who's coming at us? Nobody. Nobody can come at us here. Block cooldowns on 2 more guys there, and we are through these waves really, really comfortably. There's a freeze, Tyrell. How you feeling? You're chilly. You're chilly because you're frozen. He's doing nothing, and bang, we're through to the dragon, really with very little incident at all. Board in, what you're going to do? Not a lot. You're dead. So onto the dragon. You've seen this fight before. As long as we get our poisons this far, we're going to win. Decreased defense goes on. Poisons start to rain in. What does he do here? Decrease attack. That's basically it. He's going to put decreased attack on, which means you're going to take less of a hit when the dragon does his big attack. Otherwise, he's just in there hoping to get a few Warmaster procs and that type of stuff. So could you build him for damage? I guess you could. Perhaps what we do at the end of the video is I'll re-gear him and just get a bit of damage on him. But decrease attack, decrease defense on the dragon, and the dragon is pretty easy to take down, especially if you've got poisons in there. So I've got no dedicated healing here. We've got a couple of people in lifesteal. We've got Apothecary doing the spot heals, and 3-minute dragon takedown is pretty good. Pretty good. 40 odd Ks, 11. What was that? 17k on his A3 and 40k Warmaster hit. So rubbish item. Don't care about that. 680k, same as the War Maiden. So they're both in there for the utility. He actually did pretty much across the board, same as anyone else. So not bad on the damage. Let's see what else he can do. I guess the other place that he's really relevant is Ice Golems. So Ice Golem, you do want that decrease attack onto the main boss as often as you can. He's negative affinity here though, which doesn't help you so much. Put him instead of that guy. This all works, I think. So. Decrease defense, decrease attack, protection. He's negative affinity. Keep that in mind. So he does need to be pretty tanky to be able to deal with 20, but definitely the levels leading up to 20 he'll be absolutely fine for. Let's see how he does here. Decrease defense goes on. Decrease attack basically across the board. And at this point you want to block steals. So blocking these front 2 steals means they're not going to make the fight tons longer. See that stun as well. What you're going to do, not much. You're just going to wake up and get hit again. So even though he's the target because of his affinity, all the time he's stunning these champions up, they cannot do what they're meant to do. When you get to wave 2, which is a very tricky wave on this game, you actually want him to do his block cooldown skill because you'll get through that wave tons easier. You might not get it off in time. I think the rotation might be a bit out. If I was doing it on manual, we'd absolutely be doing it. But even freezing up these front 2 is helpful. But the AI seems to like to take on the back ones who actually aren't that much of a threat. This is the threat, what's happened just now. We're not stopping that. But see this, we've already got 2 frozen. Both of those freezes have come from Oathbound. Decrease attack now on 2 of the champs. It's just good utility, guys. That's all it is. Good utility across the board. Makes any fight much easier. Lost our Sandlash, that's a bit annoying. So I guess I'll show you. Oh, of course, we're picking back up. That's good. I forgot we had Reliquary in there, actually. So we'll get through onto the boss. I'm not going to show you the full boss fight because it's pretty long and dull. See that? He's not really taking much of a hit. Sandlash is in there doing a bit of protection as well. And yeah, it's a slow team. Block the skills and we're all good. So we get to the boss. What's he doing on the boss then? He is giving us a chance to stun the 2 adds with his stun gear. He puts decrease attack across the board, which means that when these slams come in, they're coming in much more bearable. And then he can also put block skills on these front 2 and freeze them. So tons of crowd control, tons of CC. That's what he's in there for, really. So look, I'm not going to show you the whole fight. This fight's quite long, quite dull, especially with this team in there. But you see what's happening. Decrease attack everywhere. And that will stay on basically for the whole fight. So I'll show you the end result and then we'll get on to something else. So there we go, 5 minutes through, no problems at all. What sort of damage has he done? He's done 1.1 million. Second highest damage on the team, actually. Much higher than Sandlashed, which is pretty good going. Pretty good going. So in terms of other dungeons then, he could go into spiders, he could decrease attack. That's all he's going to do. I don't think it's his place. Finites, he's got that multi-hit A3. He could be a use there. He can get you through some waves. But again, he's not a specialist for Finites. For me, one of his best places is Faction Wars. I've just posted a video on the Banner Lords Faction Wars. I'll ping it up atop here. Go and check it out. You'll see him in action alongside other similar champions with other abilities that are doing a lot of crowd control. That's where he's going to be good for your Faction Wars. So lastly then, I think we dive into the arena. I'll show you him in his current gear. I'm high in the arena, so this might be pretty tough. Let's try and get a kind of reasonable opponent to deal with. This feels good. So he's going to come in as my decrease attack champion, which I guess replaces her. We could do a decreased defense as well, but this is kind of reasonable here. Good affinity to the 3 champions we've got here, which is always going to help us. Let's see what happens. We might need to put him in better gear to deal with this level of arena. Let's see. So to start with, I'm going to protect the team. No, I'm not. Try and provoke then. I can't even do that. Everyone's feared. Everyone's feared. And actually everyone's got block debuffs. So that is a nightmare against, against this guy. Oh, it's a nightmare. All we can try and do... I should have done AoE actually, because his stun set would still work, I think. Not sure. So far, it's going really badly. Let's just try and get recontrol of this game. Warlord gets a bit of work done. Let's try and rip off all of these crazy buffs that she's got. Start to put her in the dirt. So we've got block. I've only got block debuffs here. So we're going to go in with decrease attack across the board. Landed it on 2. That's not too bad. I would have preferred it to land here, to be honest. And we can just go in, just do nothing there. Let's take out the witch. Grab some health off this guy. Just to keep us in the game. We'll have a bit more, please. Warlord's looking a bit ropey. That's fine. It's just a demonstration here. So now what we got? We've got nobody blocking me. So we're going to go in and try and block cooldown skills on Seeker. He's got decreased attack on him. We've also got a chance of stunning people because we're in stun gear. We've got 2 block cooldowns there. 1, 2. So basically now we've got 2 people locked out the game. So he can't do his provoke or anything like that. So we need to start putting some pain in on... Oh, probably not actually. I think we're just going to try and take Seeker out. The reason why I'm not going for this guy is he's just going to counter and cause loads of trouble. Don't want to do that just yet. I want to get some shields up first. Just going to one-shot him. Rotus is busted, as we know. But that should be in my favour. I never know. When I'm versus Rotus, who knows what's going to happen next. Got the decreased defense on, that's good. Depends how many hits he's going to get. Double hit here should pretty much seal the deal. Yeah, okay. So let's try Oathbound again in a different setup. Let's try this. So I kind of need the witch because I need to clear all of these buffs so that he can actually do his moves. So I guess I'll take him out for the witch. Let's see him now. If you're mid-game arena, Oathbound becomes much more use. When I'm like touching on the door of Plat, it's tough to fit some of these champions in. So you see all of these buffs, we're going to take all of those off. Decrease attack's already on. Decrease attack is on already, which means now we can use his A3, attacks 4 times at random, and try and put their skills on cooldown. Ideally, we want to put probably the speed and maybe the revive here on cooldown. Let's go for the revive. Didn't get that one, but we've got 2 more on. That's fine. That's fine. That's cool, actually. So 2 people can't do their abilities like they want to. Duchess can't do a lot yet anyway. I'm going to try and take him out, actually. Obviously, this is the road to show. He always steals the show, but you kind of get the idea of what Oathbound's doing. Locking out people's abilities is massive in the arena. We're going to decrease attack with the chance to stun. Got the stun off on the Duchess, see that? That's why stun set's good. And now we're just going in with a bit of damage. We've got no problems here. She's already locked out. I don't even need to worry about her yet. It's all on the Duchess. And then we'll take down, I think that's Luria. So as you can see, I'm fighting top end. I'm scratching on the door of Plat, and he's having relevant effect. He's not going to be a damage dealer, not the way I built him anyway, but he will have a lot of utility. So let's try one more before we finish the video. This is a really tough team. So basically, the point of this team is to cycle abilities really quickly. And I'm in trouble. I cannot afford for Kaimar to reset everybody, otherwise I lose for sure. This needs to one-shot. And it did. Of course it did. Rotus is a beast. Let's just take everyone out. Okay, so shield up. Let him have a go. So decrease attack across the board is going to work on both of these guys in terms of their abilities. We've got a stun off as well. Stun is massive here for us. Means we've got plenty of time to do the work. Lay some damage in now. He's back up. So what I want to do here is try and block his steel cooldowns. Got a stun off again. Beautiful. Absolutely just annihilated one of the strongest arena champions in the game. He can do nothing to us at all. He's down, and that is another win. So he's super relevant in the arena. I think arena and faction wars are probably his two best places in the game. Really good rework, I'd say, from Plarium. I think he's not top tier, he's mid tier, but he's definitely usable in a lot of content of the game to carry you, to lock out the opponents. All about CC. Let me know in your comments below who's using him. What do you think? I've been Hell Hades. I'll catch you all soon.